Deep in the jungles of Cambodia, a vast city sat silently forgotten for centuries, unknown to almost anyone. Stone towers rose through the roots of massive trees, carrying the last traces of a lost empire. This is the story of Angkor, a civilization that built the largest religious monument on Earth, then was nearly erased from the pages of history. So what happened to this once mighty empire? The story begins in the 9th century. The Khmer Empire began gaining power across a vast region spanning what is now Cambodia, Thailand, and parts of Vietnam. One king declared himself universal monarch, laying the foundations of the empire, a title that would underpin the divine authority of Khmer kings for centuries to come. The kings who followed expanded the empire, built a sophisticated bureaucracy, and established a massive agricultural economy. Rice farming was at the heart of the empire's strength, and that required an enormous water management system. On these foundations, the empire was ready to build one of the most magnificent structures in history. In the early 12th century, a new king took the throne and launched a project that would go down in history. Angkor Wat. This wasn't just a temple, it was a stone model of the universe itself. The central towers represented the sacred Mount Meru of Hindu mythology. The surrounding moat symbolized the cosmic ocean. Construction required thousands of workers, craftsmen, and elephants. Massive sandstone blocks were transported by river from quarries miles away. The miles of relief carvings covering the walls told stories from Hindu epics and the king's own conquests. It took more than 30 years to complete. The result was the largest religious monument in human history, and it still is. By the 13th century, Angkor was no longer just a temple city. It was a full-blown metropolis. Estimates suggest the greater Angkor region was home to between 750,000 and 1 million people, an astonishing figure for the era. The city's true engineering marvel lay beneath the visible temples, a complex water management system of massive reservoirs and miles of canals. This system stored monsoon rains and irrigated the rice fields during the dry months, an invisible feat of engineering that fed the empire. Markets were lively, temples held constant ceremonies, and royal power was at its peak. But this splendor rested on a fragile balance. In the 14th century, the balance that had held the empire together began to break down. The rising Ayutthaya kingdom to the east launched repeated attacks on Khmer territory. At the same time, Theravada Buddhism was spreading among the population, a shift in belief that undermined the traditional God-king authority of the rulers. But perhaps the most devastating blow came from the sky. Modern tree ring research shows that the region endured repeated cycles of severe drought and sudden flooding during this period. The empire's proudest achievement, that massive water system, had now become a weakness, overloaded and starting to fail. Rice production dropped, famine set in, and the empire was losing its grip on power. In 1431, Ayutthayan forces laid siege to Angkor and captured it. The city was sacked, and the royal family and court fled southeast, toward what is now the Phnom Penh region. The capital was formally abandoned, but Angkor's end didn't come in a single day. It was a slow, quiet withdrawal. Over the years, upkeep of the temple steadily declined. Most of the population migrated to the new regions, where the economic and political center had shifted. Angkor Wat itself retained its religious significance and continued to be visited by a small Buddhist community. But the vast city around it, homes, palaces, markets, grew steadily quieter, emptied out, and was left to nature. Over the next 4 centuries, Cambodia's humid tropical jungle slowly swallowed the abandoned city. The roots of massive fig and silk cotton trees seeped into the stone blocks. expanding over the centuries until they cracked walls and wrapped around towers. The nearby Ta Prohm Temple is today the most striking example of this process. Its roots wrap around the stone structure as if it were a living organism. Modern archaeologists deliberately left this temple only partially restored, wanting visitors to see what the jungle could accomplish over time. The rest of Angkor vanished from maps for centuries, nearly forgotten by the outside world. In the 1860s, a French naturalist reached Angkor while on exploration expeditions through the Cambodian jungle. His vivid accounts sparked enormous interest in Europe and cast him as the man who discovered Angkor for the Western world, even though local people had never forgotten the temple existed. That interest set off decades of restoration work. Today, Angkor Wat stands on the UNESCO World Heritage List as the largest religious monument on Earth, welcoming millions of visitors every year. But perhaps the real lesson of this story is this: even the mightiest empires are fragile against nature and time. Angkor isn't just a stone temple. It's a reminder of how great human achievement can be, and at the same time, how fleeting.